Imagine your life without conflict. Imagine the world without conflict. You might ask yourselves if that is even possible. Conflict is a daily occurrence in everyone's life. It can be caused by family, friends, job, or even schoolwork. I might not be an expert in the role of conflict on interpersonal relationships, but in the past few months I've personally experienced conflict in all four areas I've listed previously. The role conflict plays on interpersonal relationships can be analyzed through theories to better understand the results it has. In order to analyze conflict, one can look at and review theories like Wilmot and Hawker's theory of conflict management, Dale Brasher's theory of uncertainty management, and finally Will Schultz's theory of interpersonal needs. To begin, I'm going to explain the theory of conflict management. Communications Making Connections, our online Revel textbook, Wilmot and Hawker's theory of conflict management is explained as the following. It's an expressed struggle between at least two interdependent parties who perceive incompatible goals, scarce resources, and interference from others in achieving their goal. If you break down those key terms, you can look at just them individually, and I'm going to be looking at two of them today. One being express struggle, which is brought on by triggering events, bringing struggles from within to the surface. And my personal experience with this is deciding between working or helping set up and get ready for my future sister-in-law's bridal shower. And I had a hard time coming to the conclusion that if I worked a 9 to 3 shift, I could easily go to the shower at 6 and be fine. So this personal experience can also be tied to the next breakdown of one of the key terms with it, which is scarce resources. And that is when someone can't participate in an event because of time and money. And like I said, I needed money and I couldn't participate, but I also have another personal experience with that. And that is my friends and I wanted to go on a vacation during spring break this year like we did last year, but we weren't able to because of our work and school schedules, and also we didn't have enough money to do so. So these are just two examples for the key terms in the definition of theory, your definition for the theory of conflict management. Wilmot and Hawker's theory is just one way to better understand the role of conflict in interpersonal relationships. So the next one I'm going to explain is the theory of uncertainty management, which Dale Brasher's main features are in communications making connections are listed as interpretation and experience of uncertainty, the effect of emotions related to uncertainty, and the ways communication and emotions are managed when uncertainty exists. And to better understand Brasher's theory, Shelley Genius uses a quote from Brasher himself in her journal, supportive others act upon uncertainty management processes by providing direct or indirect assistance as sources of information, collaborators in information gathering, evaluators of information, or buffers against information. And 2 steps to manage uncertainty in your life is explained on our Revel textbook online, which is a communications making connections, is to rely on social support of others in order to cope and better balance the need to know with the desire to not know. In the previous 2 theories, they talk about how we manage while already in those conflicts, but the next one reviews the possible reasoning of why a person experiences those conflicts to begin with. And that is better explained through the theory of interpersonal needs. And that theory is explained in our online Revel textbook, Communications Making Connections. This theory means each of us needs to include others in our activities and to be included in theirs, to exert control over others and have them control us, and to give affection to others as well as receive it from others. And you can break down your interpersonal needs, like the uncertainty management, into categories. And those are inclusion, control, and affection. And those were better explained when researching on a CPP blog. And inclusion truly means involvement, and wanted inclusion is a person wants to be recognized, and expressed inclusion is people's drive to include others. An example of wanted inclusion I have is when I was younger, I always wanted to be a part of my brother's group because they were older than I was, and I thought that they were so cool. And control aspect of interpersonal needs is the influence part, and that is you either want to be in charge, which is the expressed control, or allowing someone else to take the lead and make decisions, which is the wanted control. And I find myself on both sides, the wanted and the expressed, while I'm at work at Fairway. And lastly, the role affection plays on our interpersonal needs is affection part is a one-on-one connection with someone, and wanting affection is how much warmth you and closeness you desire, and the expressed affection is the will to develop that warmth and closeness with a person. So with the conflicts I have faced in the last few months, I can with ease see it affect my own interpersonal relationships. I have a better understanding of the impact conflict has after reviewing and analyzing several theories about conflict in interpersonal relationships. Through the theory of conflict management, Wilmot and Hocker explain the struggle between at least two interdependent people, and Dale Brasher analyzes in his theory of uncertainty management of how communication and emotion are managed in uncertainty times. And lastly, our need for inclusion, control, and affection is explained in Will Schultz's theory of interpersonal needs. So the next time conflict arises around you, try and review these theories and see if a solution occurs or comes about. Just know conflict will always be a part of the world and will always be around us, and it truly never goes away.